How much more corruption are we supposed to take? A bipartisan congressional coalition just stood up to the FAA, demanding emergency relief from Administrator Bryon Bedford and Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. Yet Susie Lee deliberately refused to sign the Quiet Skies Caucus letter. She chose total silence while our neighborhoods suffer and our children are poisoned by toxic pollution. While other leaders fight for their districts, Susie Lee and Nevada officials have completely sold out and abandoned their constituents. Susie Lee is letting corporate aviation cartels and foreign lobbyists destroy American lives, and she's cashing the checks. While your kids face toxic pollution and low-flying aerial torture, Lee has racked up over 200 Stock Act violations to enrich herself in Washington. She completely surrendered to special interest lobbyists while refusing to lift a single finger for neighborhood safety and low-flying planes over Clark County, Nevada. Susie Lee chose corrupt cash over your family's health and safety. Susie Lee's record is toxic, her office is compromised, and it's time to vote her out. For over a decade, Congress and the FAA have ignored the voices of Americans demanding reform of the FAA's next-gen program, which has caused relentless noise and air pollution in both general aviation airports and major hub airports. Despite real dangers, frequent small plane crashes in residential areas, near misses, and mid-air collisions, government officials have prioritized political theatrics and corporate lobbying over public safety. The FAA's satellite-based flight paths over densely populated cities continue to expose communities to harmful noise and toxic air pollution, while rampant corruption and incompetence in Congress and federal agencies ignore systematic failures and shortcomings. For years, the response of those in position of power has not just indifferent, but smug, condescending, gaslighting, and laced with personal attacks and insults. Their arrogance and willful negligence makes it clear they prioritize bureaucratic cover-ups and corporate greed over the safety and sanity of the people they are supposed to serve. Abusive Clark County Aviation Department and Las Vegas officials often hide behind Congresswoman Susie Lee's failed congressional inquiry to the FAA. They claim Lee's inaction proves nothing is wrong, so residents must be delusional. Thousands demanding air travel reform are smeared as irrational kooks. Meanwhile, FAA, with the help of Las Vegas politicians and abusive port authorities, enable reckless, low-flying planes attacks on our homes and turn their backs on public suffering. Susie Lee and Nevada officials at all levels of government have failed their constituents. According to Business Insider, Susie Lee has been heavily engaged in insider trading by violating Stock Acts more than 200 times and feeding the corrupt system she's part of while Nevadans choke on noise, pollution, and dangerous low-flying aircraft. Not once has Lee spoken on the House floor regarding the suffering of her constituents or demanded accountability from the FAA or USDOT. Lee's silence reflects a systemic institutional failure within the U.S. House of Representatives, a chronic pattern of neglect and dismissal enabled by the FAA, members of Congress and local government toward aviation-impacted communities, where legitimate noise and safety complaints have been callously dismissed as unsubstantiated allegations or delusional. Even members of the Quiet Skies Caucus offer performative gestures, while their contributions amount to little more than hollow platitudes in the face of a decade-long dismissal of aviation-impacted communities. The truth is clear. Congress has been in a state of paralysis, completely indifferent, lifeless, and detached from the urgent realities facing our communities. If FAA and U.S. Congress wanted to serve all of us, not just aviation, airlines, and their bottom line, they would make sure that all citizens have full access to the resources needed for effective engagement. FAA and U.S. Congress need to restore meaningful local controls and change Airport Noise and Capacity Act of 1990 and the 2012 FAA Modernization Act. These airports belong first to our local communities, and we should have the right to impose fees, reject impactful aviation activities, limit operational intensities, and apply curfew hours, and other management and mitigation actions, all to preserve the quality of our communities. Protect your environment, protect your children, protect your home, protect your community. Be the activist who pushes back when FAA and aviation industry cross the line. Thank you for your support.